Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on, everyone? What's going on, Chip? Amazing news that we're going to go over today. SEC and Ripple have settled. More about that when we get started. We got a ton of stuff that we want to get into, though, while we're going to talk about that. The U.S. banks have no money. So what is the next move? Lots to get into, Chip. You ready to kick this thing off?
About ready, man. I'm excited. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
There you are. Yeah. Hey, everybody. What's going on, everybody? Yeah, for some reason, I feel like my voice is always a little bit deeper in the morning. It's like a little bit that morning sort of frost to it, whatever it may be. But yeah, let's go to the important news, Jeff. So there has been a settlement, an SEC v. Ripple.
Massive.
Yeah, massive settlement. So what Ripple has settled on is that SEC are a bunch of overreaching, overzealous morons. That's the first thing. And the SEC settled on the fact that they are a bunch of overzealous, overreaching morons. So there you go. It's been settled. It's been settled. April Fools. What do you want there?
Settled once and for all.
Welcome to April 1. It is April 1 and it is April Fool's Day. And I saw these memes going around Twitter, Jeff, that said it said we don't need any April Fool's pranks because nothing could trump reality at this point. I mean, it's like reality is so bizarre and crazy and nutty, and it's like nothing comes close to it. It's just all. And I think, starting that off, I saw this tweet from John Deaton this morning, which made me laugh because he goes, "This reads like April Fool's, doesn't it?" And this is, Whale Chart is one of those those Twitter accounts out there. And let's put this up there. Let's put it up here, guys. Let's put it up. Okay, well, good to hear that.
April Fools.
Your shoes untied? Here we go. So let's just review March of 2023. Okay, this isn't like a year. This isn't 2 years, Jeff. This isn't what happened in a decade. This is what happened in March. So in March 2023, the second and third largest bank collapses in U.S. history. Trump was indicted, first president to face criminal charges. Countries ditched the USD for the Chinese yuan. Interest rates, the highest since 2007, and a collapse of Credit Suisse, as you like to say, one of the world's largest banks, and they were basically gobbled up by their competitor UBS. And the worry right now in Switzerland is like, well, what are we going to do? We only have one bank. Wait a minute. There's a bank monopoly in Switzerland? What are we saying? What are we saying? That there's, Credit Suisse, which is the largest bank, is now done. Now it's UBS. So now what does that mean? Make UBS the biggest? And they're worried. They're like, we only have one bank. There's only one solution. There's only one this. And I'm like, yeah, welcome to how it works with socialism. Welcome to how it works with your new leaders. And this is how the consolidation is taken over here. I mean, it's like, let's nationalize the banks. Let's take the banks over. Don't worry, too big to fail still is an operation. No, Jeff? Are we still that too big to fail? And there's John Deaton that said, reads like an April Fool's post.
Our whole existence for the past 2 years is actually one major April Fool's. So I'm expecting that it's been the best prank ever in the history of this country. And I'm expecting that someone's going to get up today in front of and do like a major kind of announcement, maybe a State of the Union address of some sort, and come on and just say, April Fools, we got you guys. Wasn't that funny? We pranked you guys for the past 3 years. Even that whole thing with everything shutting down, that was just a big joke, just a big prank. But Chip, I'll tell you what, on the side of what we were talking about regarding the SEC and Ripple coming to a settlement, I mean, obviously April Fools, that they settled. And, here again, you get into every day should be April Fool's Day when you read the news, because here's Chair Gensler saying existing rules regulate crypto. Legislation is unnecessary. Now, this wasn't even written today, right? So So now he's saying that we already have all the rules we need. You don't even need more legislation. I mean, this is crazy, right? So then he goes in here and he says, so this is their quick take. This is on the block.co. They actually have a few really good articles that came out in the past couple of days. But here you have Chair Gensler said additional legislation is unnecessary for crypto, but should Congress act? Now, Chip, this is at a time where Congress is acting, right? We're starting to see some new legislation hitting. And so there's some interesting things happening. He said it's important that lawmakers not undermine existing laws. And like the lawmakers would do that. Like the lawmakers would decide purposefully, you know what? We're going to create some new laws that are going to undermine existing laws because that's how, bad we are. And obviously Gensler is the supreme leader of all things financial, and he knows better than everybody about finance and law. And so, man, this is crazy on so many different levels. So here it is. Here, get your feedback on this. But after a House Appropriation Committee hearing on Wednesday, Gensler told reporters that existing securities laws cover most of the activity that's happening in the markets today. If Congress were to act, though, I don't think we need these authorities. Not to undermine inadvertently through definitions of what's in or out, or in essence, allowing for conflicts that we don't allow. I think there's one agency, the Securities and Exchange Commission, overseen by two committees, the House Financial Services and the Senate Banking, and the courts that define what a security is, and not individual crypto exchanges selecting that.
Yeah, so this is what happens when you get too much power, Jeff. You start believing your own bullshit. You start believing that that all these crypto enforcements, and then you get the library win, and then you believe that, okay, Ripple's coming in, and there's a whole bunch of other things. And I think that what was I going to say? Yeah, I just think that I think that it's just not. I mean, what's going on with 2023? It's absolutely insane, right? Because Gensler has been on the record saying that, hey, if you're not happy with the way it is, then enact legislation. Now he's saying it's so clear, but anytime anybody would ask him a real question, which in these hearings they didn't ask him a real question. If you ask a real question, like, okay, that sounds great, and you're a reporter, right, and you're supposed to be the press, so the perfect follow-up question is that, like, okay, Mr. Chair Gensler, fantastic. What exactly? Tell us where the clarity is, and explain to us which digital assets. Just give us one. I'd like you to list off 5 or 10, but just give us 1 or 2 that isn't a security. Tell us why. Can never do it. Doesn't want to be on record saying anything, incriminating himself, but it's so clear that he can't even back it up, which I think is weird.
Is a squadoosh. So
something on my nose, somebody said. So what's up with that? There's something on my nose?
Hey, fools.
Man.
So Chip.
Me, Sophie got me. It's like, what the heck? She's like, there's something on your nose. I'm like, there is? There's something in my nose, maybe. I don't know. It's on my nose, but come on, Sophie. Mess with me.
So, Chip, lawmakers have introduced legislation over the years to regulate crypto. Do you remember all that legislation? Oh, there's been a few things like the Token Taxonomy Act. Gillibrand and Cynthia Loomis have plans to reintroduce legislation.
It's bad.
I hope somebody, I hope somebody heads. I hope somebody like gets in front of them. We need to get legislation in front of their legislation. But here's the thing: they have plans to reintroduce. In part, this legislation would in part assert that the CFTC, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, has control over digital asset commodities such as Bitcoin. And so this is where Gensler, man, he's getting infuriated. He's getting pissed off because now there's a challenge to his supreme authority that he holds and that he believes, so much in. But here he says, I think many of the legislative vehicles would, if adopted, would undermine the securities remit. No comment on Binance.
Nothing.
And all these rules that exist. They're called securities regulation, Chip. They exist.
Yeah, they apparently. I mean, that's it's just all kind of crazy talk, really. Quite honestly, the rules already exist. What are the rules then? All right, tell us what the rules around crypto are. We come after every crypto exchange, every stable coin, every digital asset. Like, if they're clear, let's hear about them. Just give me your top 5 rules. Let's hear them.
Here you go. If you're touching U.S. investors, selling these tokens to U.S. investors, then you come under either the securities laws or the laws under the CFTC. Okay, so they're saying that they don't come under your laws. Uh, G. Gensler, it's time to move on. It's time to finally acknowledge the inevitable.
Yeah, it's pretty sad, Jeff. I mean, it really is. I mean, pretty sad.
Man, everybody give a quick shout out to where you guys are tuning in from. We've got people coming in from all over the place. We've got XRP coming in from South Africa. I think RSA is South Africa, correct?
Okay. If you say so.
I could be wrong. Could be off by that one. Says, hey guys from RSA. Now, if it was KSA, it would be Saudi Arabia. So RSA.
Not big on the I don't know big on the acronyms, Jeff.
Jacob's World from all the way from Liverpool, and we got some Texas and some Orlando. So
you want to see
Chase wants to know where we're in. Man, we're in the greatest state in the union.
Hell yeah, man.
If you guys can figure that out.
The greatest state in the union, the freest state in the union, with the best governor in the union. So let's hear some guesses. I mean, not the people that already know, but let's see the people that are just guessing. Like, I don't know, Alaska. Yeah. Wrong, Jeff. It wouldn't be Alaska.
It doesn't start.
By the way, Jeff and I had a great day yesterday. We went down to Miami NFT, so we hung out. I know I left my house around 6:30 a.m.
You just gave it away.
And Jeff had some amazing sick Fredo, huh?
You just gave it away.
Well, no, it didn't really give it away. It doesn't mean we. Okay. Doesn't mean we. That doesn't. I guess it does. Yeah, free Florida, of course. Yeah.
Free Florida.
Well, we know people are gonna.
Yeah, everybody knows. Okay,
we know it, but yeah, we went down to NFT Miami, and it was a little underwhelming. I was not to say, but I think because made some really good contacts down there, which I think was great. Some great networking opportunities. The problem was the venue was a little bit. I don't know. The venue was a little echoey. So they had like the bigger room. They have curtains, but the problem is it's like all one big room. It didn't really have separators, so it was really tough to hear the speakers once things kicked off into once they got going. So it was a little bit harder. But I think there's some interesting projects too. We saw a lot of things, and what we expected to see a lot of was a lot about NFTs, right? A lot of the people come with their 10 by 10 booth they set up. And it was like a lot of it didn't have anything to do with, I don't know, the NFT space. It was just odd, Jeff. I don't know your take on it, but it just seemed a little bit weird. Boynton Beach, yay, living free, right on.
Boynton Beach,
right on.
So Chip, I thought, it's good to be there. It was good to go to an event that was at least involving crypto, and maybe over the next couple of days. There'll be some more speakers coming down, but I think we kind of maxed ourselves out yesterday. The few events, speakers that we sat through, it was nothing like monumental that was going to be like earth shattering. And like you said, if it was in a bigger venue where you could have breakout sessions, maybe in a room, to where it was, self-contained in a room, and maybe they do something on NFT, it's NFT Miami. None of the speakers that came up really, at least for the period of time we're there, they had some legal stuff. They talked about marketing. They talked about where it could involve with some of the bigger brands, but it was nothing like earth shattering for the, what we sat through, Chip. So I think that Norseman, yes, this is pre-recorded. We pre-recorded this, and we knew in advance that he would be asking if it was pre-recorded.
I hope he's asking, Jeff.
Exact moment, sure. Right? He might not be.
We don't know.
But yes, and that was another interesting one too, because we went around the entire venue and we talked about everybody's NFT projects that were out there, and there were some games and there were some platforms, and we found one that was a solution causing more problems. It wasn't even in search of a problem. It was creating problems.
It's creating problems.
But
we're like, we got a new one for the podcast, Jeff.
We got a new one for the podcast. It was great.
Jeff and I both walk away, and as we walk away, I go, that's a solution in search of a problem. Jeff, like, no, that's a solution causing problems. It was really fun. It was so It was so crazy, man. And then there was another one that was kind of like a phygital, I guess, in a weird way. So, then we saw you could for roughly, I forgot how many ETH it was. I don't know what ETH is right now, but roughly around $8,000, you could get an NFT watch. And it was like you got exclusivity to this club. And of course, my brother, who's a big watch guy, buys and sells and trades and all that stuff.
Oh,
I
that's
asked him
great.
if he knew this person. I go, do you know who this person is? He goes, never heard of him. He knows everyone internationally and around the world. He goes, never heard of this person before. And then I sent him another one. Was it a watch thing or something? And he goes, please stop sending these. He was just like, but the old, the face plant, palm plant, right? He's like, please
And
stop sending these.
they were really fired up about that. But this one, so what the consensus by the end, as we talked to everybody, every single venue, every NFT project that was there was built on Ethereum. There wasn't one that was utilizing XRPL. And when we asked them, the majority even looked at us. They're like, oh, that's interesting. XRPL meaning we've never heard of that. Like there were so many of them, right? Except the one perfect contact.
Yeah, the one was like, hey man, he goes, wow, cool. I'm really a big fan of XRP. It was my first entry point into, and this was somebody sitting on a booth, and it was the first entry point into crypto. So that's awesome. He was like really just like the eyes lit up, and it was like the first time.
That was
and other people were like, he goes, yeah, that's cool, but it's a very niche sort of a thing, and there's a small audience over there. Where are you guys launching? XRPL. So I was like, okay, yeah. I was like, hey, that's our. And then it was like funny. It was kind of cool to go someplace and nobody knows who Jeff and I are. We're just two dudes like hanging out, two bros walking around, and it's just like, what are you guys doing here? Do you guys, you guys like NFTs? Like, yeah, we're launching a project, And then what was weird, Jeff, is like that's how we led. Like, hey, we're launching an NFT project. I take out the phone. I'm like, yeah, here, badass Yetis. Oh, that sounds interesting. Oh, wow, that and people would like kind of like jump out. Oh, that's pretty cool. Laugh, whatever. I mean, there was all kinds of reactions to it.
Chip, ask the question again. Which platform we're on?
Jeff, what platform are you on?
No, let's say XRPL.
XRPL. Come again? What is that? So everything was Ethereum. Everything's Ethereum, and this thing for Ethereum. This game's on Ethereum. Blah 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 blah. And then I heard a little bit of Polygon here and there, and and somebody else talked about a couple other blockchains, and met this interesting fellow who had something called Joke, Joke. I love the idea. The idea behind it was to that we always think that a lot of people have just experienced stand-up comedy, and a lot of people have never actually seen it live. They watch it on Netflix, they see it on TV, but don't experience it live. So it was like streaming that sort of live version of that, which I thought was pretty interesting fellow too.
Did you understand the concept behind that? And I get it. They have a token, and then he said that, he would have preferred to have not launched the token and just focused on the business aspect of it. And that caused a little bit of complication with everything. But what did you understand his overall concept? Because I was trying to figure that part out. He said a lot of people never saw stand-up comedy. But I guess if you're going to go to, you're going to do it in a, this is where I got confused, because stand-up comedy in person is different than if you sit in front of the TV and you watch stand-up comedy, and a lot of people have watched it on TV. So I'm trying to get that. I was trying to figure out exactly what his reference point was, where, what would the experience be? And I meant to ask him when we were there, like, what is the initiative? What is the experience? And are you talking about bringing people in person to experience it? Because if it's in the metaverse, what's the difference
between the metaverse,
what's the difference between being in the metaverse and watching on TV? Is it the community interaction of it? You're not going to hear people laughing, so you don't get that same impact, where you get uncomfortable. What were your thoughts on that side of it? Because I liked his overall concept to try to bring, the comedy and maybe do it a little different. But I'm still seeing a disconnect with the metaverse.
Well, I mean, if you look on their official website, it's to help spread laughter, love, financial reward. They help comedians mint their jokes onto the blockchain as NFTs, as well as run virtual comedy clubs in the metaverse, opening new global audiences. Previously untapped, will support comedians across the globe. A lot of it was to break new comedians in.
Yeah.
Build an NFT marketplace for the original works and grow one of the biggest. So if somebody had like a funny joke, whatever, that you mint that into an NFT, and now that NFT be available, and also and grow one of the biggest YouTube channels in 12 months. The unique
Yeah.
project and
That's very
utility
cool.
links revenue for YouTube to growth and the token, the NFTs, and virtual shows. And there you go.
What I like about it, though, is the decentralized aspect of it. So stepping away from those that are centralized, centrally controlled, you know. So if they're centrally controlling the platform, so they centrally control the comedians, they centrally control everything, and they get to keep the majority of the profit. So that's what I kind of liked here, like you said, and what's on their website is they can get the up and coming comedians
Comedy.
into this up and coming comedians into this environment to where they can generate revenue. And if they're coming in this way, and if the token is a methodology of shared revenue, and they can mint their tokens and they don't have to go and do their own NFT project, they can mint them over here and have shared revenue. That from that concept, it's an interesting take on moving comedy to a different level. And it's really, these are, Chip, to me, the NFT space is so new, but I think we're starting to see these entry points of where it can become impactful on a larger community, right? Where you don't have to mint your own NFT project, but the NFT can benefit you in some way, like what we're seeing there. I think this is, we're, we're beginning. It's the beginning. It's so much in its infancy. It's not just about, hey, here's a cool image. It's about everything else that goes along with it.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, the other thing that I think was surprising too. I think from my perspective, and it's like you see people. We expected to see a lot of younger people there, right? Probably early 20s. And we say younger because we're not young, but 20s, 30s, something along the lines of that. And what we saw, and I was like, Jeff, we might be some of the older people there. I mean, and the funny thing was, is we were not. There were plenty of. I was just surprised by the mix, which I thought was really interesting because I thought it'd be like, that when you have newer technologies, sometimes the early adopters are the younger, set trends younger, right? But when Insta came out, it was younger, and whatever new app or something comes on, you always have that younger adoption. But here was a really interesting mix. And there was a lot of, I saw 40, 50s, 60s, and 70s at the show. But then you saw groups of like maybe kids walking around. They're probably teenagers, that were there as well. It was an interesting mix. So it kind of like felt really good in that sense. Like, wow, there's a lot of interest in NFTs. And from the interest point of seeing this really diverse mix of people, and projects. And, there was one project too that's like local based in our community, that we thought was really good too, is like, really trying to get more. It was focused on the Black community, trying to get more, more into tech and doing it at an earlier age. And I said, okay, you guys are doing really good work. And, what do you guys do? And how do you, work? And so there was a lot of cool stuff that was really solving problems and making stuff happen. And then there were some other projects that just didn't really seem to, like, it would be a tough road, right? I mean, so what
But
we
people are doing. That's the cool thing about it,
everything.
regardless of whether they were creating problems, or not,
Yeah.
they were at least they were out there trying something, and that to me, was the interesting part. Even the group with the watch, and, to me, that was very
That was cool as
interesting.
hell, though.
It was really cool. These guys came out as rock stars in the beginning, didn't understand exactly what they were doing. It took a while to talk and get talked through it. And to me, it was a very, very interesting project. The watch was only a component of the overall membership to recognize you as a member of the community. But overall, as they brought and they're minting of the NFT project and the watch that's connected to the NFT, that's minted. They're only making 333 of them. They've sold 180 so far, but the objective that they have is putting people, so they wouldn't just sell it to the general community. they were very discriminating in terms of who they brought in, because they want everyone to be like-minded, business-centric, people that can add value to one another from a business perspective. So that was their idea, is to create like a mind working group and a support group. So if you have a project, you can bring it to the group and you have an immediate source of review. You have a support network to help fine tune your project and a support network to help fund your project. So to me, that part was really interesting. If you can be part of that community, to where you could say, hey, this is a project I'm working on. And now you have 180 people that say, hey, that's awesome. And they're all business connected somehow. And they say, here you go. Here's, we'll help you get the funding to push your project forward. So I thought from that perspective, the initiative that they're putting together was really interesting. From the watch perspective, it's not like it was a, Patek Philippe or, something that was well known, recognized. It was more of a fashion brand person. And, you're probably overpaying for the watch, significantly overpaying for it. But it's a matter of that you're paying for the membership to the club. And as part of the membership to the club, you have a watch that you wear or you keep in your box or you do whatever. So quick question, Chip, is a joke a security?
Weird thing is Simon, the co-founder, brought it up, Jeff. He said, hey, if the SEC comes knocking on my door, of course it's a security. It's a security, right? Because people are expecting a profit. I'm like, whoa, Simon, slow down a little bit there, bro. No, it's not a security. And tell us more about the project. But the thing was, he was goofing about it. It was funny because, and one of the things I said, well, Simon, what I'd like to see is I'd like to see actually comedy again. I would prefer things to make me feel uncomfortable. I would like all kinds of jokes that hit below the belt. And he's like, I couldn't agree with you more. He goes, I said, there used to be a big circuit here in the US that the up and coming comedians or some of the top comedians would go to universities. They can't go there anymore because of cancel culture. You can't talk about this anymore. You can't talk about that. And even on this show, we got to be very careful about what we talk about.
Squadouches.
Yeah, just a bunch of squadouches, right? And so we can't talk about it. Funny thing about it is, like, that's how comedy was supposed to be. It was in the 60s and 70s, the 80s. You look at these older comedians, these originators. Man, this stuff made you feel weird, and you laughed at it. And you weren't sure if you should be laughing because it fell under one of those verticals of like, well, that's this joke and that joke. I don't know if I should laugh at it. You know what? Comedy's funny. It's supposed to make people laugh. It's supposed to, and Simon brought up a great point. He says, it's supposed to cause conversation. It's supposed to, people, did you hear that? What did you think about that? Rather than like, no, that's wrong. Cancel culture, canceled. So I thought he was really spot on with that.
So XRP Peaky Blinder here. His question is Elizabeth Warren on that joke site? Because she is the supreme joker.
Well, speaking of which, James Rule just sent me this, which I thought was interesting here. So he sent me this right here. This is Warren running for Senate. Okay. So I think right now, we have to launch on April 1st, April Fool's Day, the biggest fool in the Senate. I think it'd be a great time to launch the April Elizabeth Warren fool. Let's have our campaign. As somebody said on crypto, and I really wish I could find that tweet. It said, you're building an anti-crypto army. We've been building a crypto army since 2009. Good luck. So here you go. And this is great. So you can go on to Act Blue. And by the way, if you haven't seen Act Blue, just get exposed over in Maryland with James O'Keefe. He was walking door to door and said, hey, have you given to Act Blue? And of course, it's for the blue team because it's got blue in the title. And they said, yeah, I have. Yeah, I've given them money. Okay, so have you given them 67,429? No. So people are donating like daily amounts of money in people's names using their address. And they say, well, are you aware that somebody's been using your name and your address and is walking around? So there's like a whole, and what's really interesting, Jeff, is like a day after that video came out, the person who runs the elections in Maryland resigned. Who do we see? Did I see Thailand in the house there? Just 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, we got a couple here. So we've got where'd it go? Here we go.
Thailand, yeah. I really want to go to Thailand.
Chiang Mai in northern Thailand.
I really want to go to Thailand, man. Because first of all, love the food, love the people.
And then Ranjan is in Thailand as well. So we got
We'll see
quite a
Ron
few
John, we'll
people
see
that
DNI,
we'll see DNI. Man, it'll be great. That would be a great idea, actually. Thailand.
Chiang Mai, we'll see.
I haven't been over there. Yeah, I would love to go over there.
So Jeff, look at this. Like, so yes, count me in. So this and this, like the first thing that caught my eye right here was this word right here. Will you chip in any amount? No. I saw my name. I was like, chip? What? Will you chip and Elizabeth Warren in the same sentence? Please, come on. That's a lot to take. It's a little bit early for that, okay? Become a founding donor. Elizabeth now she's running for
What does that
re-election.
even
Continue.
mean? What's a founding donor?
A founding donor means someone that donates often, Jeff, and to this nonsense. So yeah, we got to organize together. We got to have we got to support whoever's running against it. Could be a farm animal, could be a small chicken. I don't know.
We'll fund the other.
You remember that one chicken? It was like picking stock trades, or was it like a shark or something? It would just, they put two things and they would like just, point to one of them, and it did better than most analysts. We have a better shot, Jeff.
Yeah, that's
Put two crypto regulations packages. I don't know.
Super Tanker says, "Can I donate a negative amount?"
No, but Super Tanker, but you can join the April biggest fool in Senate, Elizabeth Warren anti-campaign. She's talking about crushing crypto. Let's crush her in the next election, okay?
She needs to be removed.
She is and I will show you this.
So Chip, if you go back, Axel was saying, did I see a XummWallet address for payment? When you first went on there, it looked like there was a link for a XummWallet before you zoomed into it.
No, Jeff. No.
There was. It said Zum. It clearly said Zum.
So I'll tell you something interesting. So here, I'm trying to find Dr. Shiva.
Sophie said the problem is all her voters are older than she is. That is and actually to that point, here's another one that actually some really cool stuff. But here's this is from John Deaton. John Deaton said, I practice law in Massachusetts. Massachusetts judges have mandatory retirement age of 70. In other words, if Elizabeth Warren was a judge in Massachusetts and not a senator, she would have to retire. If you're too old to rule on the application of the law, maybe you're too old to be making the law. That's a really solid point. If you're going to force a judge to retire at 70, why would you allow your elected official in Massachusetts to serve beyond that same age?
Rules for thee, not for we, Jeff. That's how it works. That's
it. And here she is. She proposes $10 a day for childcare, all sorts of things. She's building an anti-crypto army. I'm in this fight to put our government on the side of working families. Let's destroy crypto. Let's destroy innovation.
First of all, Trump already solved that, right? It was championed by his daughter and all this stuff, and it was more than $10 a day. So this whole $10 a day and childcare thing, this is all garbage stuff. This woman has not put any legislation forward. She's a complete and absolute disaster.
She lives in La La Land. Well, she lives in La La Land, like the majority of them. Well, $10 a day for childcare. Come on, $10 a day. You can't even buy milk anymore.
Right, but let's talk about the reality. This woman pretended to be Native American so she could secure her whole future. She was making $400,000 a year as a professor, a tenured professor, before she ran for the Senate. So she was basically screwing people, pretending. And the reason she thought so is because her mama or her papa or someone like that thought she had high cheekbones. Okay, so and turns out when she finally got the test, I'm probably more Native American, and my ancestors all came from Europe. Okay,
it's really
Irish, Italian, and Hungarian, mostly Hungarian. So there you go. So that's my history, and I probably will get higher up on the nail. She was like 0.5% which is nothing. And most people hear that. There you go. There you go. See, race, American Indian. There it is right there on the application. A complete liar, a complete fraud. She needs to be exposed. And anybody in Massachusetts who's dumb enough to get totally skunked by this woman, I mean, you got to be some kind of stupid, really, quite honestly. You would vote for somebody, And again, if you want to look at the blue team, they're all about they go crazy if you misappropriate somebody else's raise. Meanwhile, this woman made a history of it. She knew that she wasn't Native American. She lied her ass off.
That's right. And Ben Armstrong comes out and he says it's obvious when you look at Senator Warren's donors that she fights for the billionaires, not against them. She's an absolute fraud. Read what she said to John Deaton and then compare this list of donors, and you'll see something doesn't add up. She's a corrupt political criminal. And here you go. University of California, 684. Alphabet, 680,000. Harvard University, 283,000. Apple, 272,000. I don't know who Emily is, but they donated 253. Amazon, 238,000. U.S. government, 215. Microsoft, 206.
Wait, the U.S. government donated to her campaign?
Yeah, I don't know, but this
Wait,
is
what did she say to John Deaton?
Contributor list. Yeah, I don't know what she said. I'm trying to locate it, but here we've got all sorts of feedback. Though I saw what John Deaton said to her.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't realize she responded.
We have to find it. She cares more for the next election, Big Bang, and she needs donations. So she should fight for that money. She's not a fraud. She's the worst. She's corrupted. And SEC paves the way for her. Gary and Warren are financial mob in the U.S. It's amazing. And this is probably feedback from outside the U.S., but it's amazing. When people look at this, people are waking up. They're so fed up with this nonsense. And she wants to destroy crypto. She wants to crush crypto. She's raising an anti-crypto army. So if that doesn't tell you what their agendas are, and then Gary Gensler running around saying, hey, don't worry, we already have the laws on the books. We don't need to write more legislation. And not only that, not only do they not need to write more legislation, but he thinks that if they do write legislation, they're going to do it incorrectly. Man, it's really out of control.
Well, Jeff, I will have to say that if I go back to wait, what does that say?
Didn't Green Day have a great hit called Warren Ain't an American Indian?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't
know.
We did, but let's see. Here we go. This right here, Jeff. I'm proudest, probably one of my favorite thumbnails of 2023 so far. But this one here that I did about the end of crypto, and this is Warren as a complete zombie beast where half of her face is missing. This was just fantastic. And Washington's burning in the background. That's what you voted for and elected for. Just burn it all down. Complete, absolute disaster. And if you look at this, just a complete. So I think I got to do more of these with her. Just I think I'm going to start doing some anti-crypto campaign just to go viral on Twitter because vote Warren, zombie Warren out of office. Vote her out. Right. Anti-crypto, anti-American. See you later, stupid. That's what we say, Jeff. And I want to tell you, so the person, Jeff, this is famous now, right? The Twitter post that came out once we saw that Elon Musk took over Twitter and all the stuff was exposed and all the canceling and censoring and stuff. But do you want to know who the guy who led the charge? I'll tell you who led the charge. Dr. Shiva Adurai. So here he is right here. This is the guy who was running against Elizabeth Warren last time. Okay. And she got him canceled. Literally.
He didn't do much.
He hasn't done much, Jeff. He's only
invented email.
He only invented email. He's he's an engineer scientist. Read his bio. So first of all, he has a podcast which is amazing. He broadcasts live. I think usually daily, just for a little bit. But if you're not factoring Dr. Shiva, he's phenomenal. Just a brilliant man.
That's amazing.
And right here, so look at this. Let's read his bio here. Dr. Shiva Adurai, MIT, PhD, the inventor of email and polymath, holds 4 degrees from MIT, is a world-renowned systems scientist, a Fulbright scholar, Lemonson MIT Awards finalist, first outstanding scientist, and technologist of Indian origin, Westinghouse Science Talent Honors recipient, and nominated for, where do we go? Yeah, for the, let's see here, the National Medal of Technology and Innovation. In 1982, the U.S. government recognized Andrej as the inventor of email by awarding the first copyright for email at a time when copyright was the only way to protect software inventions. His interest in human health began early as a child. He observed his grandmother, a village farmer and healer, practice Siddha, India's oldest system of traditional medicine. This motivated his future study and research in systems biology at MIT. Somebody who actually went to MIT and got did something of value, not like Gensler, leading in his discovery systems health, a major breakthrough that provides an integrative framework linking Eastern and Western medicine. His latest invention, cytosol, emerging from his doctoral research at MIT, provides a revolutionary platform for modeling of complex biological phenomena to support the development multi-combination medicines without animal testing, or this fraud, okay, who purported to be an American Indian, a Native American for her whole career until she was called out. And a normal person that had any dignity or honor would have resigned, not this crypto fraud, right? I'm a crypto fraud. I'm so riled up, Jeff, I can't even talk today. Not this anti-crypto fraud is what I meant to say there. So this is who we have. This is the kind of person you're building an anti-crypto army. We are assembling the crypto army, and we're coming for you, Elizabeth Warren, because you're going to be gone that next election cycle. You want to mess with the bull? Gonna get the horns. That's it, Jeff. I'm riled up.
Two things here. Ding Dong Daddy said, is that like Al Gore invented the internet? And we know that obviously Al Gore did not, but it could be close, but not exactly. Ding Dong Daddy said anyone out of MIT is sus. And that's a good point. Here, let's lay the facts out. And this is per our buddies over at ChatGPT.
But Jeff, hang on a second. Before you get to that, I wanted the one point I was trying to get to. I got too riled up. But what I wanted to get to there was he was the first to expose Warren was the very first one. He exposed her because she called a government line that was set up for the government. He called in and alerted Twitter, and they removed him from Twitter. His campaign got canceled on Twitter. They canceled him everywhere. Anytime he tried to put out email blasts for his campaign, canceled. They went and canceled him. They interfered in the election. That's how she took him out. That's what kind of the human being it is. And how did it get exposed? Well, Dr. Shiva had a massive court case. You guys can look it up. It was the very first time that it was exposed that there was a line set up for government officials to call into and get people canceled. And how did he expose that? He represented himself as an attorney. He did discovery. I love when you go sue somebody because you get discovery, Jeff, and you get to pull all the stuff and like Bill Hinman's emails and all that. But what's amazing here is it was exposed for the first time, and people are like, that can't be. And I would bring it up to people, and they're like, I don't think that happened. I'm like, oh, Google it. Here's the court case. Here's what happened. That's probably just a one-off. And we found out it was pervasive, but it was the first time he's the one that exposed that. And, it's utterly ridiculous. You're not going to get any kind of court cases that are going to play out fairly over in Massachusetts or anything along those lines. But Dr. Shiva, what an amazing talent. And he is on the red team. You could say, well, he's suspect. But I think if you listen to him long enough, and if you start paying attention to what he says, I think you'll be on I think it makes a lot of decent sense there, Jeff. At least I think so.
Yeah. So here we go. So this is really interesting stuff, Chip. I'm going to bring this up.
What you got?
So, all right. So the invention of email can date back to 1971. Ray Tomlinson, an American computer programmer, he implemented the first email system on ARPANET. This is a precursor of the modern internet. Now, if we think back to the internet, email, a lot of that structure was based, on military technology to help communicate. And that's where the internet kind of found its foundations. But he laid the work for the modern email systems. Now Shiva, and this is where you get it, is he the first to invent it, or was he the first to bring it to modern day utilization? So this goes back to, he's a scientist, engineer, entrepreneur, claims to have invented email. According to Ayudari, he created an electronic mail system called email in 1978 when he was 14 years old. He later copyrighted the term email and the program's user interface in 1982. So although ARPANET might have had a solution, but modern day email and its interface needed to change from what the ARPANET used to be. And so he copyrighted the program, the interface, everything. So they go on. His claim to have invented email has been met with skepticism and criticism from many in the tech community. As mentioned earlier, Ray Tomlinson is widely acknowledged as the pioneer of modern email with his work on ARPANET. So you could say, this is where, it becomes semantics, because did he create modern day email? Yes. Was he the very first to have the exact solution? Maybe not, but that's where the discussion starts. While Ayudari may have developed an independent, okay, we can now. This is interesting too, because here in 2014, Ayudari filed a defamation lawsuit against Gawker Media for their articles disputing his claim to have invented email. The lawsuit sought $35 million. Gawker Media filed for bankruptcy in 2016 because of an unrelated, but they settled with Ayudari for $750,000. Regarding Elizabeth Warren, obviously this is, he ran against her in 2018. They didn't bring up anything regarding the case, which is, interesting. We'll have to dig in a little bit deeper on everything. But his slogan was, only a real Indian can defeat the fake Indian.
That was awesome. Yeah.
I mean, that's,
yeah. I mean, and so this is where, you got to be careful what you say, but I kind of really doubt sometimes when somebody, there's a whole thing about being elected or being installed. That's what I will say about it. I think it's sort of, but Jeff, you want to go back to like who invented the car? A lot of people will say, well, Carl Benz, right? In 1857, 1865, somewhere around there, right? When you think about the automobile and the combustion engine, who gets credit for it? Ford, right? Ford is the one that made the production line, which made mass production available. He was the one that was credited, but people are like, who invented it? A lot of people are like, well, it was Ford. No, Ford was the one that created the, and also too famous for saying like, well, would you like that in black or would you like that in black? Like, there wasn't like a lot of choices. Like, did you want a car? Because you can have it in black, but we also have it in black, right? There was like, right. There was like, it was like, hey, we have it. I mean, colors came out later, but it was like back then, every car was black. It was just, the Model T was and so it's just somebody who ran as a fraud and doesn't get that. I don't care who you run, or I don't care who runs against her. I would just hammer it home all day long. She lied. She misappropriated a race. So the blue team's so worried about this, yet their loudmouth senator who's trying to destroy crypto, they're like, they get the free pass, right? If it happens somewhere else, oh my gosh, if people dress up for Halloween all the time, it's like, oh no, you can't dress up as anybody, just for one day, even probably for school, you try to pay homage, and oh no, you can't do that anymore. But you can lie and cheat your ass off, get a $400,000 tenure job. You're basically 8 credit hours, show up for class once or twice a week and make $400,000 and then go to the Senate. And she's got all this money and she's just backed by all the scammers. So what are you laughing at, Jeff?
Just looking at these.
The chats are funny, aren't they?
Oh yeah, I'm just looking at some of the stuff. Like this one. Warren's so old she has ARPANET email. Just probably true. She might have had it.
She probably. I don't think she's that advanced, though. I'll be honest with you. I just don't think it's.
Davin 24 is saying, late to the show. Why was there no announcement yesterday, Chip? Everybody promised a March 31st announcement.
Well, listen, especially if you look in the there's a date. They said, by March 31st. Okay, that's a target range. I think the one that called it accurately, I think it was John Deaton. I think it was Jeremy Hogan. John Deaton also gave the range. He said March, April, May. I think Jeremy Hogan said the same thing. In the library case, it was 2 weeks after what that target date was. But this stuff in there is like, I mean, every time I see like a new video on YouTube, it's like settlement today. And that's why Jeff and I have a good time with it. We joke with it. You'll see it on our thumbnails. But whatever it is, we goof on it a little bit, like to have a little fun, but sometimes people take it to some like crazy levels. And look, it's all hype, whatever. It's tough getting views on YouTube, especially in a down market. I wanted to put this up, Jeff. Look at this. I put this up the other day, but I saw this mass INC poll revealed that a divided Massachusetts on Warren. So 41% favorable, 36% unfavorable. Now, how much do you want to bet that there's probably at least 10% or 15% of people you could add to this that don't pay attention to politics, that are into crypto and live in Massachusetts, Jeff? So if we want to do something good with our money, let's run ads against the person that's trying to destroy crypto. Maybe there's not a lot of people. I'd like to know like some stats on how many people are there, but it's time for her to go. She's an absolute disaster.
It's time for her to go on many levels. They've destroyed the economy. So however you want to look at this, the fact that you have an entire, and I don't want to say entire, that's wrong, because there are some that are looking for a clear path for legislation, right or wrong, however they want to frame it. Even, so when you see Gillibrand and Lummis, they're trying to present, could be a bad bill. But the point is that they're looking for a clear path, however they want it, and they're creating discussion. What we see from like an Elizabeth Warren or a Gary Gensler, they don't want to stimulate discussion. It's their opinion and you're wrong. And they want to destroy discussion, and they want to destroy the crypto industry, the innovation. The fact that they would push for, and I guarantee 100% that Elizabeth Warren is behind and supportive of the digital dollar and CBDC. And she wants to destroy cryptocurrency, and she wants to push the innovation offshore. That's her agenda. That's her initiative. And she said it. It's out there in black and white in your face. While there's others that are on the other side of the team, on the blue team, that is, Gillibrand, Darren Soto, and there's others that want to see innovation in this country. But there's a division in all parties, and there's the nuts, and then there's those that are more centrist. And the centrists, based on they are passionate about this country, and it's going to be on both sides. It doesn't matter what team they're on. They love this country. They want to see this country succeed. They want to see it flourish. Maybe some of their ideas won't necessarily get us there, but the thing is, they have that passion. They want to see it happen. Then there's others that could care less. They're stacking their bags in their pockets. They could care less what happens to you. She's a perfect example of someone that does not support the interests of the community, and it's destructive for you to keep voting for somebody like that. But, to that point, there's so many other things that could, be great and could be happening, similar to this one, Chip. And I love this. And then, Bitcoin white paper to make F1 debut as Kraken partners with Williams Racing. I don't know why Bitcoin white paper has anything to do with an F1 debut. So you have Kraken partnering with Williams Racing, but we've already got crypto.com. You've had others that have been in Formula One already, but Kraken is placing the opening excerpt. Oh, so let me retract. Kraken is placing the opening excerpt of the 9-page Bitcoin white paper on the Williams racing cars that will be competing at the Australian Grand Prix this weekend. The crypto exchange hopes to raise the profile of the crypto ecosystem in a sport that draws 1.6 billion viewers. So Kraken, so they are putting, that's going to be one excerpt. I'm not sure if let's see if they have it in here, which one it's going to be. Oh, here it is. Crypto exchange. Who said Bitcoin isn't fast? I don't know if that's what they're putting on. Let's see. It'll be interesting. So anyhow, so let's say they put a statement on there. I don't know if you could say that they're bringing the white paper to it specifically. Bitcoin white paper. I don't think the white paper is making its debut. A statement is making its debut. Let's get that more succinct. However, it's a good thing, Chip. It is a good thing, right?
Kraken. It is a good thing. It's a good thing.
Crypto.com. We got to see it. It's all over the world. Maybe not here in the U.S., but guess where? Formula One is racing in Miami May 5th-ish.
Yeah, and they also had a booth down there as well, which is interesting.
Oh, that's right, Chip. I almost forgot. Yeah, Formula One was at NFT Miami. I'm sure they were looking to sell tickets. Very cool. We talked to them. Chip, I got to go. I know you got a ton of stuff you got to cover, but
got a nice poster. Yeah, I'm gonna just cover one more thing, Jeff. We'll see you later.
See you on the next one.
See you on the next one. I'll hang here, guys. So this this is what happens with regulations and all kinds of garbage like this. So this was published yesterday. It's not even 24 hours old, but it is incredibly sad. Look at this. Let me read this for you guys. This is Richie Lai. He is the CEO co-founder of Bittrex, and he put out this email yesterday. Today is a bittersweet day. This month we turned 9 years old. This was yesterday. And while I'm excited and proud that we've come this far, I'm also very sad. Today, Bittrex is beginning the process of winding down its U.S. operations, but don't worry, all customer funds are safe and available to withdraw. However, it's just not economically viable for us to continue to operate in the current U.S. regulatory and economic environment. So this is the kind of damage. This is what happens when you have someone like a Gary Gensler and all these. Here's a crypto exchange that is just saying it's not worth the risk. We cannot risk our business viability. 9 years old, which is a pretty long time. Crypto's been around 11 and a half plus years. And all of a sudden you got one of the oldest exchanges is closing down operations because it's not viable. It says in 2013, when three guys built Bittrex, it was about technology, taking nascent crypto technology and making it better. In our vast experience with enterprise software and security knowledge, we built technology that was ahead of everyone at the time. Full service API, near instant atomic transactions, wallet infrastructure, handling more wallets than anyone, offline cold storage wallets. We never lost funds. We'd never been hacked. It was technology. It was simple. It was elegant. We said we would be the most secure and the fairest trading platform out there while treating our customers fairly. No hidden deals, no special treatments. We never took shortcuts. 9 years later, the crypto ecosystem is very different. Regulatory requirements are often unclear. Even though Gensler says they're super clear, they're not clear at all. So also enforced without appropriate discussion or input. And again, this is exactly what we go back when we think about this. No input at all. So here's the thing is you're going along, you're building a business, you're trying to do the right thing. And what happens? You get a Wells notice, which is that pre-notice that you're going to get, there's going to be some enforcement action forthcoming from the SEC. It's just too risky. It's too risky for them to go down that road. So it goes on to say, without appropriate discussion or input, resulting in an uneven competitive landscape. And in the end, we made a great strides towards accomplishing our goal of maturing the crypto space. However, operating in the US is no longer feasible. And Bill, Ramey, and I will focus on helping Bittrex Global succeed outside of the US. I've really enjoyed being part of this revolution. And I will continue to be involved in this space. Thanks you to all the Bittrex users over the years that made us who we are. I'll see you around the blockchain. Richie, he put this little sad, you guys listen on the podcast, he put a little like a sad like dinosaur over there. And this is just disgusting to me because when we have this kind of fallout that is induced by the complete and utter morons that are in Washington, and we've been hearing about this new day. I'm excited about it. I know Washington moves slow. I know there's a lot of agenda. There's a lot of backroom stuff. There's a lot of people repositioning and shuffling around. I get it. But, we had January, we had February, we had March. We're into the second quarter, and we have Gillibrand and talking about getting their bill out, which is garbage, by the way. Everything that's been proposed in the House of Representatives is all better than that Senate bill. So if they're going to float that Senate bill and they're going to try to get traction on that, that's going to be a pretty sad day. And you already know who's a no for it, and that's of course Elizabeth Warren, which is pretty sad. But I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, my goodness, what are you going to do? Let me go to the comments here. What else we have in here? We got like another minute or so here. I want to see what it says. What's going on? Yeah, this is very true. Yeah, it is XRP market. It's super sad to see innovative companies leading the US. What a great record. 9 years, never been hacked, never lost customer funds. A company that would be considered outstanding, right? Really amazing tech. 9 years in business, right? And what's happening? Well, they're forced to leave the US. Are they being pushed out? No, but they're reading the tea leaves saying, hey, if we continue to stay, we might get a Wells notice. We might be, and what he mentioned in his email, his statement was, we're not going to get that knocked. There's no advance notice. There's just come in and talk to us. They've been doing it for 9 years, and then like they're going to be accused of doing something, and it's pretty sad. What's this here? Jim D. Liz Warren does beer. That's pretty good. I'm gonna have to. I can't pull that up here in this software here, unfortunately, so I can't see that. Jim D. And then Flair Community says Gary Gensler to face Congress later this month. That should be fun to watch. It should be fun to watch, but I hope they don't give him softball questions because we'll see, because it is the House of Representatives. People go like, well, will Liz Warren give the questions? No, it's not a Senate hearing. I believe it's a House hearing. So we'll see. And that should be interesting, Flair. I mean, we should see how that goes, but I just hope they don't give softball questions. I hope they're legitimate, solid questions and I have a feeling that it's probably going to be some grilling, but you know the answer. No, we don't do this, and blah, blah, blah. It's going to be one of these ridiculous sort of back and forth, but I think that happens towards I think like in 2 weeks, I believe. I think it's roughly around 2 weeks from now. So we'll see how that see how that pans out. But anyway, guys, I know Jeff had to go a little bit early. I got to get going as well. I wish you guys a fantastic day. I want to thank everybody, for always coming in here with your great comments. You really help make the show. It's one of the reasons we love to do it live. And also, too, it's like Jeff and I recording videos together to pre-post doesn't make a lot of sense. I suppose we could do, believe it or not, and this is why I have a lot of respect for Flair Community, by the way. If you want to know anything that's going on with Flair, that ecosystem, you follow Flair Community. It's the best channel out there for that, and there's some other ones, it's great ones as well, but it's great, it's entertaining, it's well put together, the emails are fantastic, and what I love too about Flair is built a really good ecosystem of like-minded people, and that's it. It's about building that community. It's about having those like-minded people assemble, and we're powerful together. We can move mountains. Don't think your voice can't make it happen. We have to band together and we have to fight for what we believe in. Decentralization is where it's at. It's a big threat out there. I get it. But anyway, just a big shout out to Flair Community, because I really love what you're doing out there. Really, being a big fan as well. And again, if you guys think putting these videos together is easy, it's not. I'm telling you that doing this live, I like it. I prefer it. I like what comes out of the creation when Jeff and I do this together. It's a lot of fun because we don't know. We always have a game plan, and it never goes according to game plan. There's a lot of stories, and we want to hit these things first, and we all get off on a tangent. Maybe that's good, maybe it's bad, but that's kind of where the show goes. So it's that creative sort of space. When you're sitting there looking at a screen yourself, and this is why I have a lot of respect for everyone that does this, and you're running through it, just remember that person is sitting there looking at a computer, trying to be lively, trying to tell you what's going on, trying to make it entertaining, trying to put some nice edits together or whatever, and then putting a thumbnail together. It's like, okay, what am I going to call this? It sounds like it's super easy. Yeah, I make a YouTube video. I press record, and then I upload. No, then you got to upload it. Sometimes there's issues with uploading your video, and then depending on your interconnection, whatever, then you got to come up with a thumbnail, then you got to write the title, and then then you got to change it 7 times. Then you got to take that and put it in there. Then you got to have your description. And then what do you want to add to your description? I'm just saying, I have if you guys don't know what it's like, I can just tell you as a creator, sometimes I miss doing those kind of videos, but there's nothing better than doing it live with you guys, because you guys make it. There it is, Jacob's World. Love you guys. Yeah, absolutely. Legendary. We will win. Yes, we will. Awesome. Chip, you guys are awesome. Yeah, Ray the Moss. And you guys, it's really why we come here, man. It's like, we always say it's the show behind the show. A lot of times Jeff and I will just sit there and we'll go through the comments that we miss while we're bloviating and yapping on and all that. We'll go through the comments and say, wow, there's so much cool stuff happening here, man. And we missed that, so we do that a lot too. And after the show concludes. But anyway, just want to say, guys, really, you guys are a big part of this. Please help any way you can. Flair Community says, too kind, Chip. Thank you for everything you do. No, man, I totally mean that. I'm telling you, man, I've seen your channel grow. I've seen you grow, and I'm telling you, you're top notch all the way, man. Really good stuff. What else do we have here? Who else has a comment here? Good morning. Hey, good morning. XRP rocks. What's going on, XRP rocks? Yeah, we have conversations every now and again on on Twitter, which is also very cool, to bullish Mr. K. Look at that. Always pops in. He's the see him around the chat a lot, but I think he's just kind of lurking now. He's like kind of just in the background, but I always like to see Mr. Bullish Mr. K. Love that. DeWalt XRP makes my day. Thank you for the wonderful work. Yeah, thank you guys. So yeah, Jeff and I enjoyed doing this. It was so much fun hanging out with Jeff yesterday because we do this where most of the time we're either texting with each other, we're either talking to each other, or we're on here. We're working on our Badass Yeti project, which the Badass Yetis are. I think we're getting ready to create the mint, so we'll need your support there, guys. And also a really, by the way, probably one of the most original NFT projects I've seen out there. Flare Community 2 has a phenomenal, so we don't have time to get into it, but man, what a freaking awesome animated concept with, guys, go check it out. But I love the whole, the originality of pulling that ball at the end and seeing what you end up with, what you end up getting in the machine. It's a fun thing. I don't want to give it away. We should probably play it over here at some point. But again, when you launch an NFT project, you don't know, man. Maybe people buy it, maybe they don't. Maybe it's a complete letdown. Maybe it just nobody's interested. So there's always that weird fear going on. Will people buy it? Will they like it? Will they, all that kind of stuff. So, but we're pretty excited about it. Look, Jeff and I put a lot of work into this. We try to create something that was original and true to what we like, and more along our tastes and likes. And we'll see how it goes, guys. That's all I have. I appreciate you guys immensely, as does Jeff. And we will see you on the next one. Chip and Jeff out. See you guys.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.
Okay, I had to come back for just one comment that I missed here. So Jacob's World saying like, hey, he's saying right here, hey, how do we buy? That's a great comment. It's not actually, we will let you know when it actually launches on the XRPL. It's going to launch on an exchange. And when it is ready, we're almost there. As soon as it's actually ready to be minted, we'll let you guys know that. So yeah, is Yeti ready? It's Yeti ready. I like that. I see what you did there. Yeah, Yeti ready. It's not quite ready yet, but we're in the final stages here. So bonus content. Boom, the bonus content. I don't know if it's any bonus, but yeah. So I think what I probably should do here, let me see if I can grab a couple Yetis here to throw them up here. You guys can see, and I don't know, maybe people have seen them, maybe they haven't. I don't know what you guys have, if everyone's seen them, but I'll throw a couple of them up here. And again, we're launching what we call the Blue Tribe, and the Blue Tribe is comprised of a couple different clans, as you will. So it goes like this. It's the Titans, the Pathfinders, the Templars. See, I was saying, like, we had to come up with all these names and stuff. The Frostbeards. And hang on, I'm just throwing them up. There's no easy way to do this. I just got to put them in a browser. Like, I wish there was a better way, and I just randomly choose them from our upcoming mint of 589. That's right, the Mentalists, the Shiver Spines, and of course the Spirit Walkers. And I'll show you what those guys look like. Here they are. Let's go ahead and throw these guys up. Let's go. Hang on a second. It's always easier when Jeff's here because then I can actually see the here we go. Okay, so let's put this up here. There we go. You guys see it? Nothing. Wait a minute. Hang on there. There we go. So let's pull this full screen here. So this guy right here belongs to the Titans. So that's one of the Titans right there. Then we've got the Pathfinders. Cute little adorable little creatures. Then next up we've got the Templars. This guy's carrying a cool little shield. There's a story behind all these little guys here. Then we've got the Frostbeards. And then a personal favorite of Jeff and I, the Mentalists. I'm sorry, that's the Shiver Spine first. Let's go to the Shiver Spine first. And these guys are dastardly looking, man. They're mean looking creatures, right? So, and then we've got the Mentalists right there. course, they got a big cranium, so of course they got a lot of mental power happening there. And then finally, we've got the spirit walkers. And there you go. Those are the badass Yetis. The badass Yetis. There they are. Yeah. So, guys, super excited. What's going on, Dick? Dirk van der Gersh. Gersh. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'll just call you Dirk. Hopefully, I'll get that right. What's going on, man? Hey, I created an after show. Yeah, I've done this a little bit. Like the Templar name. Cool. Appreciate that. So it's always good when something resonates with you guys. We need erect Yetis characters on Gensler and Warren. We said we would not corrupt our badass Yetis with any bad mojo or bad energy. We wouldn't do that. Jacob says, cool. We got, oh yeah, those are badass. We ready for the Yetis? Are we ready for Yetis? Oh yeah, I like that. I like what you're doing there, XRP Blinder. Yeah, that's really good. Nice try. It was probably bad. Give me the pronunciation in your last. Vandegush, you know, Dirk Vande, something like that. Sorry about that, Dirk. I hate butchering people's names because I always like to get them right. So I apologize for doing that. Dirk's okay. Dirk, tell me how to pronounce Dirk. Give me the pronunciation. By the way, guys, I will tell you this, that each one of these Yetis has an original name and the name has the pronunciation. So if you look at it and it looks like it's missing a vowel or something's not quite right, the best part about that is that you will be able to pronounce it because it has the pronunciation along with it. So that's part of it. So when you go mint one, you're going to basically get a random one of these. It's going to be one of these tribes. I mean, clans. It's the blue tribe, but it's going to be one of these 7 clans that I talked about. And then when you go ahead and mint it, you'll get a random one. So that's how it's going to work. We'll get more into the XRP price and when we're launching as soon as we have more details. I do believe, though, it should be in the next 2 weeks. Again, it's coordinating it with the exchange, and I got to say they've been doing a fantastic job. Really top notch. Can't thank everyone over there. I just want to make sure I'll announce it when it's ready. But I got to tell you that just really happy with the way it's going. So we'll see, guys. We'll see. I'm super excited about it. And you guys, when they're ready to buy, I'll let you guys know. You guys can go out there. You do is you connect your XummWallet, click on the one you want, XRP, boom, and then next you know, it's in your XummWallet, and you got your badass Yeti, and you can do all kinds of fun things with it. You know, put it on your change your profile picture, whatever you want. But let's create a badass Yeti army, and let's let those Yetis run wild. And they're not real big on Elizabeth Warren either. So, you know, maybe if they leave their Himalayan habitat, they can run wild in Massachusetts. So there you go. It says, yeah, those are badass. Really appreciate that, man. Right there. Crypto Neezer says, can we have a half-assed Yeti next? Potentially, possibly, but there is going to be more. We have 589 in total. So that's where we're going to be. I'll let you know the exchange, Jacob's World, when we get there. It'll be really close. Can you say yet? I'm not going to say just because I want to. Only reason I'm not saying, and it's not because I don't want to announce it yet. It's just that when it's time to announce the project, we want to give you all the details. We don't want to like, hey, it's going to be this, and then I like to just. Jeff and I talked about this. We want to be able to say, okay, we're launching on this date. It's live. Go buy it. Here's all the details on it. Here's everything you need to know. We can kind of like give it all at the same time instead of half-assing it, if you will. We definitely don't want to do that. Don't fret. Don't fretty. The badass Yetis are almost ready. Look at this, man. All right, signing up XRP Blinder for the marketing team here. He's coming up with some good stuff here. I really like what you're doing there. I gotta love that. We might have to borrow that and use that. I like that. Don't fretty. The badass Yetis are almost ready. I love it. So yeah, when we get closer, we'll definitely we'll let you know exactly what we're gonna be launching on. But it's coming up. But that's it, guys. I just wanted to jump in there. I forgot to talk about the badass Yetis. There we go. I know somebody asked a question. I had to answer it. So that's all I have, guys. We'll see you all in the next one, which is tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Guys, see you. Talk soon. Cheers.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.